Podcast show. Fanny the mammy. Oh man, she gave up those panties to her romantic lover, Nathan Wade. Man, it's getting heat down here in Atlanta, Georgia, with the scandal of the year against Fani Willis, the Fulton County DA here in Georgia, whether or not she basically should be disqualified in the Trump election interference case. Now there is also a ethics complaint filed against her, and she has to answer to that. A grand jury, I think, had called her for that. Boy, white daddy is coming after you black women. What is going on? Lawyer Henderson is live. We're talking about Fani Willis tonight. The Fani Willis scandal continues. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Fulton County, Georgia. I'm Lawyer Henderson, and welcome to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me today on the Lawyers Podcast show. Fanny the Manny. I told you that these bed wenches, these butt dancing Negroes, they just don't basically understand what white daddy breaks his tools. He breaks his tools. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your gracious host. My name is Lawyer Henderson, and I am your host. Let's put up Fani Willis. Here we go. The DA down there here in Georgia, I should say, because I'm not down here, but I'm here in Atlanta, so I should say here in Atlanta. The DA in Atlanta, Fani Lewis, however you want to, Fani Willis, however you want to say her name. Basically, we told you about these women that goes to these colleges, become AKAs and, semi-diabetic and all this old stuff. These are some freaks in the sheets, but Fani was giving up the money. She was giving up the draws. Oh, my. But let's listen to some testimony of old Fani Willis. She's going to talk about her and her lover, her romantic lover, Nathan Wade, and that the prosecutors down here in Georgia is basically on her. Boy, white supremacists is coming for these black tools and token Negroes like none before. Let's get into it. See what white daddy has to say here. Well, white mom.
How frequently would you think that the three of you would text?
Not very. I wouldn't think very often, but you're asking me to recall. I don't even know what time period you're asking me to recall, but I'm not going to speak to that because I just really don't know the answer to that. So I don't want to speculate as to how often that would happen. But it's not out of my practice to text two people on one text message. So if you told me that happened and showed it to me, it wouldn't surprise me, although I have no recollection of it.
But there would be some record of it in your phone, or the phone records would have some record. Talk about, you said that sometimes you paid Miss Yuri cash. When you went on vacation with Mr. Wade, let's just go one by one. Let's start with the first one. What's the first time you went on vacation with Mr. Wade?
I think the first time we went on vacation was around April of 22. And it's a vacation is a stretch, but I'm trying to be comprehensive. I recall April of 22. His birthday is March the 18th. So that would have been his 49th birthday. I took him to like Tennessee for the day. I think we went to a museum. I think we might have stayed the night. I'm not sure. But I mean, Tennessee's kind of hard to call a vacation, but I just am trying to be inclusive. And it, like I said, I know it wasn't more than a day.
Against the night.
I think that we did. That's what I'm telling you. I
said,
think that there's a possibility
They spent the night
that
now.
we stayed that night.
Oh, there you go.
In April of 22.
Who paid for the hotel?
I think I did. It was his birthday.
And would you have used a credit card?
Probably maybe a debit.
Maybe a debit card, they said. Huh. Maybe a debit card. Hold on, let me see what's going on here.
Okay, that's the only time that you went to Florida with him?
I think we went to Miami and spent the night. That's my
Night in Miami.
Okay. I think we spent
Oh,
one night.
to go Nate down there to Miami.
That's my
Got it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Miami? I don't remember that.
And how'd you get to Miami?
Oh, yeah.
We would have flown.
You would have
And we've
flown.
done that so that I'm clear. We've done it twice. I think one time we stayed, and I honestly can't tell you, did we stay when the ship left or did we stay when the ship came back?
Here we
also
stay.
can't tell
Ooh,
you-
Fanny
there's
went
two
down
cruises
there
out of Miami.
and just got
There's
it
one
out.
in that October time period that was with his mom. And then there was another that was a New Year's Eve trip. I know I paid for the New Year's Eve trip because the tickets were $697 each.
Woo.
And I thought this is ridiculous that the tickets are $700 to go to Miami, but when you travel during New Year's Eve, you know, they get you.
So let's just back up and talk about the first time that you went to Florida with Mr. Wade. That was the time that you said you stayed in Miami at the hotel the first night?
That's
Ooh.
the time I told you, I am not sure. So I'm not sure of two things. So I want to make sure that my testimony is clear. I'm not sure if we stayed in Miami on the October trip. I'm not sure if we stayed in Miami on the December trip. I just can't remember that. And I also don't remember, so that the record is clear, I don't remember if the necessity was as we got on the ship or we got off the ship. But I do remember there was a night spent in Miami because either whatever, I don't remember. But I think that there was a night spent in Miami.
Oh,
That
yeah.
cruise is the one that you took in October, right?
Ma'am, if you have something to refresh my recollection, I'm intentionally trying to not be difficult with you, but I don't want to make up something. I know that on one of those two trips, I stayed in Miami. I am not sure right now. You're asking me about.
Oh, I'm sorry, you misunderstood. I was not asking you which night you stayed in Miami. I'm asking if you took a cruise in October 2022 with Mr. Wade
Yes, and his mom.
and his mother. That's what I was asking.
Yes,
Is that the first time you met his mother?
yes.
It was on that cruise. And that was
Okay.
Royal Caribbean, I believe?
So,
I honestly don't remember what ship. I know you're taking two cruises.
now let me pause right there because old Fanny is getting into it. Old Fanny is basically, man, she is heated because white daddy and white mommy is going after their crumbs. And see, this is what happened when you go come after a white man or a white woman. They're going to put the books on you. Doesn't matter what your title is as a black person. And so we saw Fanny, she was down there. And she was basically in Georgia putting all these rappers on RICO charges and stuff. And as soon as she went after white men, that's when it became a problem. Okay? And we told y'all that under the system of white supremacy, that this happens. White supremacy is for you as long as you are basically going after a black person. But as soon as you go after a white person or white daddy, Boy, 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 boy. Oh yeah. So now White Daddy is coming out, is coming for her. And, you know, Fani Willis, man, she allowed that white police officer to get off, you know. And now she basically, like I said, she was putting all these RICO charges on black men and rappers and stuff. And now it's like the tables have turned on Fanny. And she was like now trying to act like she pro-black now. I'm not going to let you sit here and emasculate a black man and blah, 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 blah. Now, it's interesting that they said that her father was a former Black Panther. That's interesting. Instead of molding his daughter to be a prosecutor, he molded her to be, instead of molding her to be a defense attorney, she molded her to be the prosecutor. You know, she worked in the DA's office for a very long time here. Remember, Fanny is the one that led the Atlanta public school scandals too. But man, they got old Fanny the mammy. They got her down there, boy, just upset. Now there is a, they're calling for a Agnes complaint against her so she can be removed from office as well. And it is very, 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 this is what white folks do. We keep trying to tell you, man, that their system does not work for us. Their system do not work for us. We try to tell you that there has to be a different system. Has to be. And one of the problems with the system here is that when you are a black person, it doesn't matter if you are enforcing white folks' rules and laws. The white man can change the rules of law. He doesn't even follow his own law. Like we just talked about the illegal immigrants. It's against the law to bring illegal immigrants in America, but look what Joe Biden's doing. These white men do whatever they want, you know? So that's the reason why it's foolish to continue to play their game, okay? Because just like in a sense, now, for instance, like, you know, we go out and vote and all that stuff, right? After 150 years, black folks are waking up in a sense of saying, oh, we're not going to do this no more. You should have been on done this. But back to Fani Willis. Now, Fanny, like I said, Fanny basically knew that they were going to target her. In fact, they got her to run for office and told her, oh, yeah, don't worry about the affairs and stuff. If you paying this man money to work as a special prosecutor, oh, don't worry about that. See, that's how they set their bootlicking Negroes up. They set them up, and they are not going to put you in that position or allow you to be in a position unless they got some dirt on you. Now, all of these black women came out supporting Fani Willis. They wanted Paul Howard out of office, okay? And Fani Willis was basically, you know, shooting for the prosecutor's job, and she won. They had all these black women basically, oh, yeah, I go out and voting for Fanny and blah, blah, blah. Man, that woman got in office. She got that race soldier off. He was able to sue, I think, the city. He was able to sue, got his job. I think he got his job back. And boy, now once she went after Trump, went after White Daddy. Now it's a problem now. And we kept telling Black people in their system, it does not work. It does not work. Okay? Their system does not work. Now, the guy who Fannie was seeing was a guy by the name of Nathan Wade. Now, Nathan Wade.
You and alleged that you had a romantic relationship with Miss.
Okay, let's back up here. Now, Nathan Wade was pretty more of, he was, of course, Black men, we don't get attitude. We don't do all that unless something frustrates us for real. We got to have a reason, and white society frustrates us a lot, as you know. But I want to watch now Nathan Wade, some of Nathan Wade's testimony on this, because he was more kind of like, he's basically like, listen, I just got money. I didn't want to get involved in this bull stuff. I mean, we had sex, of course, we had this romantic love affair. Okay, I got my money, got sex, and got out. While I'm here, why I have to testify? That's kind of what his position is. But man, props to Nate. Boy, Nate hit those jaws. If that's what she wanted, Nate did it. Nate got that money, and now,
Yes.
they're.
And you answered that you did not have any documents to that effect, correct?
Correct.
And that was on December 22nd, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
You updated those responses again after the motion to disqualify was filed, though, correct?
When was the motion filed?
January 8th, 2024, when I filed the motion to disqualify you and alleged that you had a romantic relationship with Miss Willis.
Yes.
After that, you updated these responses, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so your new responses, you now changed your answer from that you didn't have any of this to you're asserting the privilege under 24-5-505, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is smart to do, which is
And both
smart.
of these are under oath.
Yes, ma'am.
You also updated your response to the question about spending time with someone other than your spouse for dinner, drinks, things at restaurants, bars, hotels, or the other person's home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So in December of 2023, you said no to all that, and then in January, after I filed my motion, privilege to all that, Fifth Amendment privilege.
Yes, ma'am.
Smart.
And just to be clear, was it
I'm going to object to characterization of Fifth Amendment privilege. I think it was a statutory privilege, and that's quite different.
That's what I was just about to ask him. So that privilege covers infamy or Fifth Amendment privilege, correct?
So it was a privacy privilege, is what I updated my response to.
That's right.
Once
Smart.
you filed your motion to intervene in my divorce action, I then figured that you were in talks with my former wife's divorce lawyer.
Okay.
And because of that, I asserted a privacy privilege because I didn't want the proceedings of my divorce to bleed over into the proceedings in this case,
Right.
which is the case that obviously you're involved in.
So your answer is in December of 2023 that you didn't have any documents about infidelity with Ms. Willis. That wasn't true, though, correct?
They didn't ask me about any documents regarding Ms. Willis.
A romantic partner. They asked you for documents regarding a romantic partner. So I'm sorry, I inserted Ms. Willis's name. Let me rephrase the question. They asked you for documents about travel with a romantic partner in December 2023. And you under oath said you did not have any of those, correct?
I did not.
Okay.
And they asked me about gifts.
Right.
I never purchased a gift for Ms. Willis.
And they asked you about receipts for dinner, receipts for drinks, hotels, bars, and restaurants. And you said you did not have any of those.
I did not and do not have any receipts for any of those things.
Okay. And part of the civil discovery, they say that even if you don't have it in your pocket, if it's within your purview, you got to get it and give it to them, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to object again to the relevance of the questions about the scope of civil discovery. I think she's asked him about statements he made in pleadings.
Now, here's the thing. He was more understood. He understood how to be emotionally calm than Fani did. And that's basically the way you should approach it, because white folks have the tendency to push your buttons, but if you fall into their trap per se, they're going to basically characterize you in such a way, as we often see that not only in court appearances, but in the media. You know, the angry black woman or what have you. You didn't see an angry black man in Nathan Wade. You saw a man who says, I don't know. I'm getting a divorce because, you know, my wife found out about this affair with the DA, and I'm trying to get out of this. Like I told you before, I don't believe we should be marrying to one woman anyway, as black men, because our bodies, of course, as I said earlier, as said in previous videos, it's not made for one woman. Okay, I've said that plenty of time in videos. But having his situation where he agreed to be with this woman, married her, and now is getting a divorce, right? The messy side of divorce shows you specifically about why marriages don't work, okay? And why just being with one woman doesn't work. Because a lot of times you'll get a situation where women will waste your time. They'll get all the, you know, if you get a divorce, they can wake up and then they take all the money and stuff like that. They get the house, they get everything. So it's not really a good idea for men, specifically black men, to get married, right? So, so he is getting a divorce, you know, or have gotten a divorce, or is getting a divorce. And the white media basically didn't waste no time. The New York Post did an article, and they did not waste no time to say, Trump election fraud, DA Fani Willis, alleged lover Nathan Wade reaches divorce settlement with wife. You see? Now, in this situation of divorce settlement, certain women, I'm not going to say all, but certain women love this type of scandalous type, dragging, as you will, in the media type situation. They love this. Now, Wade was married to his ex-wife, Jocelyn Wade, for 26 years, by the way, right? And it was the ex-wife who basically told everybody about it, went public about it, you see. But I want to talk there about how the New York Post basically did this, how it became so messy and so scandalous as to what now is the benefit of just coming out talking about this, you know, this black man, you know, how Fani Willis say, I'm not going to let you emasculate a black man, blah, blah, blah. No, but I wanted to talk about how the press, the white media, how it basically likes these types of scampy, scandalous media. And this is the reason why you shouldn't be married to just one person, because it hurts the man, moreover, to basically look at his infidelity as a situation that he automatically did something wrong. Okay, and that's the reason why I'm against marriage with one woman for this specific reason. And there's many others, but this specific reason. And that is because a woman can wake up after 26 years, 30 years and say, I don't want to be married no more. The relationship of just one woman is okay if you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. But when it comes to get married, you are basically saying in a contract that you are only going to be with this one woman specifically for the rest of your life. Okay, which is what is a problem with the marriage and divorces today. And then 75% of that of the divorces is initiated by the woman. So that's another issue there as well. But I want to go back to what the New York Post talked about with the divorce settlement of Nathan Wade and his ex-wife Jocelyn. It started off, the Atlanta special prosecutor who brought election interference charges against Donald Trump reached a temporary divorce settlement with his estranged wife Tuesday, meaning he likely won't have to testify in court about his alleged affair with his district attorney boss. Okay. Now, that was at the beginning. But so when they basically, that when he reached that settlement, then to disqualify Fani Willis is the reason why he had to end up testifying anyway. You see how that worked? The settlement automatically canceled a hearing scheduled for Wednesday in which Nathan Wade was expected to answer about his relationship with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, according to the Atlanta Constitution. It also means that Willis will likely avoid testifying in the case. Now, Wade and Willis' alleged romantic relationship was first exposed in a filing in the election fraud case on January 8 by defendant Michael Roman. Wade has filed for divorce for his wife of 26 years, Jocelyn, on November 1st, 2021, a day after he was appointed special prosecutor by Willis. Roman alleged in his filing that we're already in a relationship at that point. Bombshell court filing from Jocelyn appeared to confirm Wade's relationship with his boss when credit card statements from 2022 and 2023 submitted to the court showed her estranged husband paying for plane tickets for himself and Willis to head to California and Florida, followed by charges on cruise ships and at luxury hotels. And this is the reason why basically being in a relationship with just one woman is not good, because one woman is going to really castigate you. She's going to take everything, as opposed to having, a multiple wives. That's why in other countries there is laws against just having one wife, because of certain things like this. But anyway, it goes on to say, Cobb County Superior Court Judge Henry Thompson granted the temporary divorce settlement, noting Wade and Jocelyn agreed to its terms. The conditions, however, would not be filed with the court. Now, this has happened in January. Now, keep in mind, this happened in January. Now, look at that. Again, because he made that easy settlement with the wife Jocelyn, that didn't mean that he was out of the mud, because he still had to testify because he's a special prosecutor, you see. So now it's like, damn, I didn't have to testify in court with my wife divorce situation, but still I got stuck with having to testify because I've now been appointed a special prosecutor. I'm getting the taxpayers' money, and I am then screwing the DA. Okay, now you still have to damn testify. You see what I'm saying? So it was a double-edged sword there. In a statement, Joycelyn Wade's attorney celebrated at long last reaching the settlement. While this negates the immediate need for a hearing, it does not settle the case, said Andrea Hasty. Now that our client has the financial resources to support herself while his case is pending, we are focused on the hard work of moving the case towards resolution, whether that is through settlement or trial. We are continuing to work to obtain information from Mr. Wade to ensure that the couple's assets are divided properly after more than 26 years of marriage, end quote. And see, that's one of the reasons why men are now moving away from marriage. You see, that right there, dividing properly after more than 26 years. Now, here's the thing. She gets money. She gets alimony, right? She gets alimony. She's going to get a check now. Okay. And so that's the reason why men are saying, wait a minute. I got to pay out a divorce. I got to give her some of my assets. I got to also make sure she's taken care of, even though that, of course, yeah, that was infidelity, but hey, she wasn't giving me sex, so I had to go get it somewhere else, okay? Now, but I believe that he wanted the bag from Fani Willis. Fani was going to give up those pennies anyway. And so I don't see why Black people, specifically Black men, because you basically, Black women are educated by the white man, of course. But Black men, we know that the Europeans' way of marriage is bullshit because we've never been with just one woman, as I said earlier in other videos. So we know that marriage is a scam per se. Now, it goes on to say, Willis have until Friday to respond to Roman's motion to dismiss the election interference case, which claimed her improper relationship with Wade presented a professional conflict of interest. Although they provided no evidence with his filing, he cited Wade's divorce file as containing the proof. Joycelyn Wade's attorney claimed her husband withheld money from her while spending lavishly on vacations and cruises he took with Willis. Roman's legal argument was that Wade used the funds paid to him by the Fulton County DA's office for his personal trip with Willis, which amounts to misuse of county funds, as well as she's benefiting from one of the people she was employing. Willis is under investigation by Fulton County Board of Commissioners Audit Committee over the potential misuse of taxpayers' funds. You see, the district attorney had previously described Wade as a mentor. However, they began working together in late 2021 when she hired him to oversee the election fraud case brought against Trump and 18 co-defendants. Trump and the 14 remaining co-defendants in the case have all pleaded not guilty. The case has not yet been scheduled for trial. Now, here's the thing. It depends on your level of money that you have. If you're going to continue a romantic relationship in your marriage, while you're married, I should say. Now, we looked at a lot of billionaires and millionaires, I should say millionaires and billionaires, who spent lavish gifts on girlfriends while they were married. Because a lot of wives, not all wives, but a lot of women who are wives thinks that, okay, well, we got 2 kids and we can shut the sex down now. And that's not how it works or is supposed to work in a marriage, because that lures the man to go and commit infidelity, because men's sex drive lasts a little bit longer. Women, of course, their biological clock comes real quick when they're around at late 20s. And so if a man is asking his wife for sex and she basically declined or said, I don't feel like it, that could be an issue for the man who wants sex and then will go out and seek it somewhere else. This is why before the Europeans ever learned how to tie a shoe, it was dangerous for Black men to be just married to one woman because of this reason. Okay? Because of that reason. Because certain wives basically, because wives in this Western modern world could basically say, oh, you're forcing me to have sex with you. I'm on my period. I'm blah, 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 blah. And now the husband is basically saying, well, my wife and I haven't had sex in years. And now she's out there looking for another mate. You see? So Nathan Wade been with Jocelyn for 26 years. And Jocelyn had said, wait a minute, you're spending money on D.A. Willis, but even though D.A. Willis is paying you out of your check because, or out of the county's funds, but she hired you as an employee there or a contractor, whatever you want to call it. Okay? See, nobody really gets upset about the billionaires who have a lot of girlfriends and he's married. You see what I'm saying? Because the billionaire, he basically have a different kind of way how he basically deal with marriages of his wife and the relationship he has with the girlfriends. I was just reading an article about, it's called Meet the Wives and Girlfriends of Billionaires. Certain billionaires say, well, I'm just going to be a boyfriend to a young woman. And the billionaire might be in his 50s or 60s, and the girlfriend might be 25 or that kind of age. In other words, the billionaires is learning, unlike billionaires like, what's this guy's name? Bill Gates, that if you had a girlfriend, and it's better off to have the girlfriend at that young age, but still yet, you're at least giving her something as far as money and other luxury gifts. That's the reason why it was dangerous for R. Kelly to go to jail. Not because you're saying that he's a sexual predator, but if we start having women going after men because they are basically saying that they are entitled to this lifestyle that they had with a celebrity, but then after the celebrity broke up with them, that they should still enjoy that lifestyle. That's very dangerous, despite the fact they were just his girlfriends. That's why we didn't want him to go to jail in that regard. Not to say that he's innocent of anything, innocent or guilty of any situation. Okay. And so we have to look at that as a way of putting men in prison because there are some women who basically got upset that they no longer live that lifestyle anymore. And so now this dirty, nasty, raunchy situation that is going on with Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, and now alleging that there's taxpayers' money used in Fulton County. This kind of scandal has shook up the Fulton County District Attorney Office and what's going on here in Atlanta, because you got a lot of hot girls out here. Now, this came in a sense where a lot of these women who go to college and they become these AKAs, they get in front of these sororities, and a lot of them are freaks, just like those chicks in the church now. I told y'all about that. But I wanted to basically talk about the aspects, though, as to why Black men, of course, we, along with other men, are moving away from marriage just with one woman. In other countries, as I said, they have it where you marry multiple women. And it is not the men, of course, who gets rid of that one of the wives, what they call a sister wife. The husband don't get rid of that wife. The other sister wife get rid of that wife. So, for instance, if a man is married to 4 women, what they call a polygamous relationship, the wives look and check that woman who is stepping out on the relationship in the marriage. The wives tell that wife, that other sister wife, she got to go because she basically have cheated on the husband, you see. That's how it was before the Europeans came in and messed up this relationship and marriage thing. See, as I told you in other arenas, the Black man has never been with just one woman. And that's why we have a hard time in relationships, and where our women who have thrown their history and culture away be talking about we're cheating. No, our bodies are not built for just one woman. And so what we have to understand is that it's hard for us to commit with just one woman when we know that we have never, ever been in a relationship with one woman. And so when you look at the civil rights generation, they were forced to do this. In the slavery, they were forced to do this as well. The white man said, no, you're only going to be with just one woman, that's it. So now you have to deal with these scandalous situations in marriages, and especially when you're in the public eye, it begins now to become real serious. And white folks, you use that against you. That's the reason why they elected Fani Willis here. They elected Fani Willis because they knew that they had dirt on her. They knew. See, white people don't basically elect you for something. They don't appoint you for nothing unless they got dirt on you. Now, they had dirt on Obama too, but since Obama did not do anything for Black folks, they didn't have to use any dirt on him because he did nothing for Black people. Okay, he did nothing that caused white people an uproar where they had to do this. You see, Fani Willis finally said, I'm going after white daddy, and she knew that they had some dirt on her, and then the ex-wife started to spill guts, and then now, because she's wanting to get paid, now all of the dirty laundry come out, you see. But see, nobody talks about Bill Gates and all these other white men who sleep around as well. Bill Gates is just now coming out that he had an affair, right? Against his wife. That's the reason why they broke up. There's other white men who sexually harassed, like Harvey Weinstein and all these other white men who's been doing this stuff. So dirty laundry in Hollywood or in politics is nothing new. It makes good for great television and news and stuff like that. That's the reason why basically we as men was like, wait a minute. If we get into these marriages, or if we go to work out at gym and we even talk to a woman or whatever, we can be called a creep, we can be called this, we can be called that. And before you know it, she got me all in jail, me tooing me and all that old stuff, you see. And so the passport bros and all these other folks, they're going overseas to try to find traditional marriages and relationships, okay? But we often said, don't bring these women back to this Western world. See, what women in America has messed up on is that they go to these colleges and universities and think that their degrees equals a relationship, and it doesn't. You must recognize that a degree does not basically guarantee you a lifestyle, okay? A degree is simply saying that you have mastered certain things and that you went to class on time and blah, blah, blah. And you sit there and listen to the white man for 3 or 4 days a roll, talk about some stuff that is outdated in politics, economics, mathematics, and all other subjects. Because None of what they're teaching us in these colleges and universities are current of what's going on today. This is the reason why they're closing down and merging with other colleges, because they are out of line with what's going on today. But man, back to this Fani Willis, man. This woman here, boy, this woman you see how she was shaking her head? And I'm not going to let you sit here and emasculate a black man. You know, she was sounding like her pro-black dad back in the 1960s. And so now they basically are bringing her up on ethnic charges. You know, they breaking their tools now. This is what they do, boy. White Daddy is telling you black women, we're coming after you. Now, she is not the only black woman they're coming from. That woman down there in Illinois, what's her name? Hayard. That woman down there is something else, man. They are saying that they had contacted the FBI on that woman down there. Yeah, they said because she's spending lavishly, she's using taxpayers' funds and stuff, and they're also, White Daddy is fit to come after her next now. Yeah, we told y'all, White Daddy, man, he's been busy. He's been busy. Tiffany Henyard, she is next now. They basically got her. Tiffany Hayler, how you say that woman's name? Boy, they're gonna get that woman. That woman is spending taxpayers' money, and that woman going around. Man, they're gonna get that woman. Yeah, White Daddy is coming after all of these black women. We were like, man, what is White Daddy doing?
He was a resolution meant as a revolt.
Calling for an investigation of Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Y'all hear that? An investigation of Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Four of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's 6 colleagues on the Dalton Village Board voted to ask federal investigators to pry into the actions and transactions of Mayor Henyard.
Has taken lavish trips with village staff and has caused the village to be in a multi-million-dollar deficit.
They had used the village coffers as her personal piggy bank, while they say Dalton's unpaid bills have piled up.
It is a deadly sin to think that you could have lost 6 of your police vehicles. And when you lose the vehicles, you lose the police officers too. But she chose to keep her payments on her security detail.
We cannot survive like this with contracts continue to be entered without board approval. We have vendors calling us every day for non-payment.
Residents who packed into this Park District room are furious. As Dalton business owners say they've been shuttered or denied permits since Henyard took office, like Lawrence Gardner's trucking company. Though the FBI won't confirm any active investigation, Gardner says he's been answering questions for months.
I've been talking to them periodically, and they said there was multiple agencies investigating Dalton and Mayor Henyard. So be patient.
For her part, Mayor Henyard accused colleagues of false allegations and filing multi-million-dollar lawsuits at taxpayers' expense. The village administrator said in part, quote, the residents deserve better than this circus. In Dalton, Liz Nagy, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, that woman in trouble, boy. White Daddy is coming for his sister girls, his black magic girls, boy. Now, it goes on to say that trustee in Dalton approved a resolution to ask for federal investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is accused of corruption. For Mayor Henyard's 6 colleagues on the Dalton Village Board attended Thursday evening meeting and celebrated after resolution passed. When I said we are here to save Dalton, I mean that, says trustee Brittany Norwood. It's been nearly 3 years since Henry was sworn in as the youngest and the first woman mayor of Dalton. She now also served as Thornton Township supervisor. Her image is prominently displayed outside the village hall, right? But she is now at the center of allegations of corruption and political retaliation being lobbied at her by trustees, business owners, and even the Attorney General's office. She had taken lavish trips with village staff and has accused the village to be in a multi-million-dollar deficit, said trustee Jason House. They said Henry had used village coffers as a personal piggy bank, while Dalton's unpaid bills had piled up. There's a lot of mismanagement of funds, and we just want some clarity so we can move forward in understanding what's going on, all of this spending, said Keani Bletcher, Dalton trustee. It is a deadly sin that could have lost 6 of your police cars, and we lose police cars, you lose police officers too. But she chose to keep her payments on security detail, said Bert Alderson, legislative counsel for the Dalton Board of Trustees. We cannot survive like this, Norwood said. We have vendors calling us every day for non-payment. But damn, that woman there, boy. I'm telling you, boy, White Daddy is coming for her now. White Daddy is coming for his crumbs. They are coming for his crumbs. And so what they have basically knew that Fani Willis and Mayor Henry, we talked about this so-called black girl magic is, with a lot of things. But man, White Daddy is not done with you black women. White Daddy is not done with you black women. Man, they got a Pennsylvania magistrate judge charged with shooting an ex-boyfriend as he slept. Man, she is...
Police say she...
This is a black female judge. She shot her boyfriend and while he was asleep. And this is the reason why I say, man, we can't be married to just one woman. Listen to this here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take a look at this. Hold on, man. Hold on. I'm going to give y'all some action tonight. Y'all said that I shouldn't.
And a central Pennsylvania magistrate judge is now facing attempted murder and aggravated assault charges. Police say she tried killing her ex-boyfriend, but tried to put the blame for the shooting on the victim. 57-year-old Sonia McKnight is now accused of shooting Michael McCoy in the head while he slept last weekend. Police said she tried to convince McCoy that he had pulled the trigger on himself. McKnight was already suspended from the bench without pay in November over several pending violations. McKnight claims she is innocent. And it's
now, well, White Daddy is coming for you black women. White Daddy is boosted up. See, when y'all put Joe Biden in office, Joe is going after a lot of black women. Now, I'm not saying him in specific, but I'm just saying when the Democrats get in office, I'm not saying Republicans are even better, but when the Democrats get in office, boy, White Daddy is going to go after all of those black people who basically voted for him. He's going to turn on you. And so with that black judge down there, and now Dalton Mayor's Tiffany Henyard, the FBI is looking into her. They also got Fani Willis. Well, White Daddy is not playing with you black women. Y'all better go ahead and straighten up, man. But yeah, I wanted to come here. You've been listening to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Lawyer Henderson podcast show. I know I've been so busy that, I haven't been able to come on and give my, take on some stuff of what's going on here. Because, black women better watch out, because, white daddy ain't playing around with y'all. Y'all better, white daddy is saying y'all are out here not doing what he wants you to do. But anyway, I just wanted to come on, and I wanted to just basically talk about Fani, the Mammy Willis. Putting those rappers on RICO charges. Everything is coming back to haunt you. And now she's trying to be pro-black, and then pretty soon you're going to see Tiffany Henry. She start talking about, I'm a black woman, y'all putting on black. I'm like, man, listen. Do the people right. That's all we ask. Do the people right. Do the people right, man. That's all we have to say, ladies and gentlemen. Well, leave your likes, share, and comment on the page. And Lawyers and Podcast show is out. Like, share, subscribe for your comments. Thanks for listening.